request now Sri R. Vidyasagar Garu, retired Commissioner, Water Management and Ministry of Water Resource Government Region. Sir, may I request you to please? May I request now Mrs. Surekha? Please give a bouquet to Sri R. Vidyasagar.
Honorable, a renowned scientist in water management, Sri Vidyasagar Garu with us on this special day of UN celebrations.
Thank you, President of the event, Professor Vidyasagar Garu, brothers and sisters. I am privileged, rather delighted to be here. On several functions here, I used to share the dais, but this is the only function where I have been invited as a guest of the university. Why I feel proud is that I am the old student of this university. Here in the engineering college, I got basic principles of water resources. And further, of course, I improved my water resources knowledge techniques in the University of Roorkee. The library at the University of Roorkee reminds me of library of here. Excellent places where students simply they go and get themselves involved and excellent preparations for their competitive examinations. Right. Because I was associated with UL in some form or the other. I have been offered a scholarship to study systems engineering in water resources sector in the Colorado State University, and I have been asked to work with one famous Access International Limited on hands-on training for about 9 months under the UNDP scholarship. Then I have participated in many UN seminars, and finally, as a short-term consultant, I worked in the United Nations Environmental Program in Nairobi. That's how my association with the UN organization is there. I love the organization for its attitude to settle the conflicts between nations. Pursuing in nature without taking any aggressive postures. How they try to resolve by method of persuasion. This is something exemplary. Today, fortunately in India, if some water conflicts, water disputes arise between two states, then there is central government to intervene. At least courts are there to intervene. They have got acts. But if two countries have a dispute over river waters, it is very difficult to resolve it. Sometimes there is a loss also. During the course of lecture and deliberate. Before I work on important topic of water, international water cooperation. Let us know something about the water. Water, as you know, it is very vital for mankind. Why mankind? Even for all living organisms, you need water. And all our civilizations grew where the water is available. And in history, if you see, some of the civilization perished where the water was not there. Some great civilizations like Egyptian, Arabic, Iraq, and our Indian, they are all because of water only we flourished. So, what is the position of water? Is it infinite? Is it ever increasing? That we have to understand first the value of the water. Fortunately, last 4-5 days in Hyderabad we are having constant rain. You may feel our body is rain because I am not able to move my stick. But so entire city is waterlogged. So occasionally you may get this type of situation. But water everywhere. That is the. We have our globe 1400 million kilometer cube. This much total water is available in the entire universe on our globe, in particular I'm talking of Earth. It's not a small quantity of water. It's not 1 cubic meter. Kilometer, 1000 meter by 1000 meter height, 1000, that is kilometer cube. 1400 million, 10 to the power of 6. It's very difficult to imagine also. If so much water is available, what is the problem? Why we are facing so much difficulty? Sometimes it's very difficult to get a fetch of water, bucket of water also for our drinking purposes. The position is 97.5% of this water lies in oceans and seas. So it's a salt water. It will not be useful for human consumption unless you depend upon desalinization process, which they are doing now. In some countries, particularly Gulf countries, they are resorting to desalinization, but very costly, we cannot afford to do it. Then, out of 2.5% also, 70% of the water is supposed to be fresh water, but it is deep in the ice folds, that is, which we say monsoon throughout. 69. Another 30% is in deep aquifer underground. So what is available is the rivers and lakes? Only 1%. Out of that 1%, there are no, again, soil moisture and everything, evaporation, it goes only 0.3% of the 2.5% of the total quantity of water. That much mere quantity only as available for utilization in the globe. It is a finite. It is always it is a constant figure. Like your land, water also is finite. Population is not finite. Population is ever increasing. Your needs are increasing. Water is not increasing. This is the result of why water scarcity has arisen. If you see the world history, 1804, our population was 10 crores. Since about 20-25 years, next 10 years, the population is going to stabilize and it will going to remain constant. But we are not seeing. Every year is increasing only. Still, the stabilization of the population, we are not understood which year the stabilization will be achieved. We have taken us 1400 million cubic kilometer cube, that's total water available in the universe. Every year in India receives 4,000 kilometer cube. Out of that, 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km cube is only utilizable water, either in the form of groundwater or surface water. 1953 km Even 1953, they have estimated there are a lot of problems, geological problems, environmental problems. We will not be able to utilize full. Only 1096 kilometer cube is that is the water. Ultimately, that will be used either surface water or ground water. That means they have estimated 690 kilometer cube, that will be surface water. 396 km cube is the groundwater. This is the ultimate in India. You cannot have more than this water. So what is the position now? Surface water means you have to have a lot of dams and other things, storage structures. So far, we constructed around about 270 to 80 out of 690. Another 100 or 120 km cube is to be utilized. Altogether about 385. That means in order to utilize 690, it's not necessary to have storages of full. If you have a storage of 1 unit, you can utilize about 1.4, 1.5 times. Why I am giving statistics? Not to bother you, but to give you an idea how our water resources are scarce, either in their flow or in the country itself. We will come to Andhra Pradesh also a little later. Now, if everybody receives 1,700 cubic meter per year, then that particular population, if you are able to, that nation is made out of danger. That means it's not water stress condition. If you are receiving less than 1,000 cubic meter per head, then that nation alarming bill will be there. That means it is declared as a water stress condition. Again, 1955, in the entire world, there were 7 nations declared as water stress. That means were having less than 1,000 cubic meter per hectare. In 1990, that 7 number has become 13. And 2025, it is going to cost another 12 years. Our estimation is around between 30 and 35 nations will become water stressed. By 2050, 2/3 of people of this entire population will face water shortages. These are all figures given by your own UN publications. Now, why we need cooperation? There is a word water, we have spoken something about water stress condition, water availability in the country, in the globe. Why do you need a cooperation? Cooperation is needed because rivers don't respect territories. They go by their geographical consideration from a high place to low place, and it finds its origin when they join the mother sea. That's the natural. They don't bother which country it is flowing through, on either side, whether it's a Rayalaseema, Telangana, or Andhra, they don't bother. Simply they flow according to their geographical slope. They should get slope, then immediately water starts flowing. Countries also, they don't know whether United States or Mexico, nothing. Now it is only for political consideration these people have divided as the countries. Now, if everybody is getting enough water, there will be no problem of water scarcity. So we don't bother also. If somebody is using more than his entitlement, and downstream people, we see upstream and downstream, that we understand. When a river is coming from upstream and it joins to all the regions which are located very near to the sea, just above that, they are all downstream. And all the places which are situated upwards, then they are called upstream. That is the engineering upstream and downstream. Now, as I was telling you, cooperation is needed for 4 reasons. One, when there is utter water scarcity. If there is a water scarcity, upstream countries, suppose there is little flow available, little inflow is available, like in our Krishna region itself, which is, you must be knowing much more about. First it goes to Maharashtra, after that Karnataka, then comes Andhra Pradesh. On that year, only 500 TMC of quantities of water is available. Jolly well, Maharashtra will utilize the entire flow. Nothing is available for Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. There is a condition, water scarcity. What will you do? You can't ask Maharashtra, you reach the water. He will say, no, I will not release. I am entitled to hold this water as per some award or tributaries of water. What about that? Humanitarian consideration, you go and beg, please give at least some water, drinking purposes. If purely will make you, this is what daily we are saying. This is, I am not telling anything out of imaginary situation, I am not telling. This way some cooperation is needed. That is when water scarcity. Similarly, when it is in floods also, you need their cooperation. They hold the flood in Almaty, let us say in Karnataka. It's very high dam. If they have no good relation with the Andhra Pradesh, they release the water suddenly. Floods, your entire area will be flooded. There is no central government, doesn't come into picture. So you need cooperation. At least we will request you, please hold the water in your dam for some more time. Meanwhile, I will evacuate my people. So not only in water scarcity condition, also when this is floods also you need the cooperation. Third thing is pollution. Upstream states or upstream countries, without bothering about the downstream countries, they leave their pollution untreated. Will have a devastating effect on the downstream. Even you just see in the side by side in your house and another house, you have a 100-feet bore well. You are very happy, your water table has come up. So by the 0.5 HP, I will be able to suck the water to my first floor. Suddenly another industrial come and he has a 1 kilometer or 500, 800 meter deep well. This become dry. So it's not that it is independent. Groundwater table also depends upon. Similarly, state boundaries are internet aspect as I told you. They go by the nature. So you need the cooperation of upstream and downstream. These way our United Nations, our central government, our Supreme Court, or whatever that you say, some third party's intervention is needed to see equitable, reasonable distribution of water takes place at the common rivers. Also, no significant harm is done to the downstream users by your activities. So this is the principle. For that, we enter into a lot of agreements. One state with other, one country with other. Lot of agreements. So finally it is on the goodwill of the governments whether they implement or not. Today the whole problem, there are more than 245 international rivers are there in the area. A lot of treaties are there. If they respect, if they obey, they are happy. If somebody says, no, I won't bother about it, what will you do with that? Is what happening. But surprisingly, it is happening more in our country than in other countries. Danube River in Europe is shared by 12 countries. They have problems, but they are able to solve it by mutual agreements. Nine, where I had the opportunity to work with the Govt scholarship or UN consultancy. Very typical. Then this where our local Telangana problem also is connected. That's why wherever I discuss this issue, I always quote the example of Nile. Nile, the last station's country is Egypt. After the Egypt, then it joins the sea. There are so many countries. These are South Africa, Zambia, Ethiopia, Sudan. There are so many 10 countries are there. They share the water. So it is covered by various treaties, agreements. These agreements have been formulated by, again, British Empire, when most of these countries went to that. Thereafter French also were there, they also endorsed that. Now, 89% of the water of the Nile is contributed by Ethiopia. Please kindly hear carefully. 89% of the water, like in Godavari catchment in Telangana, 79%. And nothing is contributed by the Egypt. But the entire flow that is available in the Nile is being absorbed or is being utilized by Egypt. This I have found by observations right 20 years back when I was working in Ethiopia and Nairobi. I was surprised when the UN asked me to give a report. I was surprised, how is this? I cannot imagine the situation. And this is upheld by the latest UNESCO publication I have gone through. UNESCO publication on Ethiopia water resources development. Some of you can have a look at it. Very beautiful observation they have given UNESCO, recent publication. It is paradoxical that Nile is one of the very few river basins that show great disparity among the riparian states, among all the 10 countries. This is the very paradoxical that Nile is one of the very few river basins that show great disparity among the riparian state. Now here is important. Between those states, they say state, which we refer as a country. Between those that contribute almost all the waters, but use almost none. And those that contribute nothing, but use most of its water. Now you tell me, it's an international river. Ethiopia contributes almost all entire water to the Nile, and it is not permitted to construct a dam. It utilizes a single drop of the water. On the other hand, Egypt constructs a lake, Nasser, Osmania dam, such a huge dam, it has completely converted Egypt's economy. Within 1 year they could meet the cost of the dam. And such a money spinning structure, and that doesn't contribute anything. Because of submergence of Lake Aswan, certain areas of Sudan were getting submerged, so they have given some water, allowed them to lift some water from the reservoir. That's all. Except Sudan and mainly Egypt. No other country is permitted to draw even single drop of water. They are all covered by the treaties. Now Ethiopia, they have their own problems of internal conflicts and all those things. When they became, they were in a position to build a dam, Egypt declared a war. They said nothing doing. If anybody violates the agreement, United States, England, France, Germany, everybody toes the line of Egypt only. Why? Because they are interested to send their vessels through Suez Canal. Suez Canal is one structure under the control of the Egypt. Mediterranean Sea to Red Sea, there is a shortcut. So they will be just keeping their economic advantage. They said, no, what Egypt is right. Why I am quoting this example is, today with your UN existing, International Court existing, so many years, and the latest publication says, this is the situation. Where is the justice and equity? Where is the question of cooperation? Might is right. I have got nuclear power, or I have economic power, I can rule the entire. Now, it's after so many years, Ethiopia has mustered the courage. They are going up with the building of the dam. Egypt is better. They are threatened that they said, no matter, we will go ahead. But at least now, there is some ray of justice. So when we discuss all our local problems also, I wanted to remind you of these things. Now coming to national water conflicts. Many water conflicts, fortunately as I told you, there are two institutions, Supreme Court and central government. What does Constitution say? Constitution has got Article 246, Schedule 7, Entry 7. Again, this 2, curriculum is 3. That means Constitution has given powers to the state government under Article 17, water is state subject. That means state government says you cannot touch water is mine. If it is flowing in my territory, it becomes mine. Water is a state subject. Of course, subject to Entry 56. Entry 56 means it is under union government. What does it say? All interstate rivers will come under central government, provided if the development was to be taken up by the central government with the act of parliament. That means again parliament has to approve, give the powers to the union government, okay, do this work. But unfortunately, parliament cannot pass a bill unless state governments again they come forward, yes, do it. No state government is willing to accept this position. That means neither the subject is dealt fully with the under this union government nor under the state government. So state government feel central government is weak, but constitution doesn't provide enough authority on the, that means as per the water allocations, you have no authority, central government cannot do anything. If somebody is illegally constructing a dam or a project without any sanctions, Central government cannot stop it. Although union government, it may look very big and all those things, but it has very limited powers as regards water resources. This is, but they have got Article 262, under which when any dispute arises between two states, if that cannot be settled through negotiations amongst them, they can approach the union government. Union government will try to solve the problem by discussions. If they are unable to do it, then they will go to Supreme Court, request them to appoint a tribunal. That is where all our disputes, more or less, they go to tribunals. It is a Krishna tribunal. Godavari is a tribunal. Narmada is a tribunal. Kaveri is a tribunal. All. Okay, tribunal is a body comprising of judges, Supreme Court judges are equivalent. What they would decide? They will decide, suppose there are three states are contesting river Krishna waters, they will say, all right, after going through the rigmarole and exercise and all, they will say, you take this much, you take this much, and their order finally is equal to Supreme Court decree. But who has to see this? Actually, this water are available to them. You are allocated, kept quiet. The previous job is over. But to see this, that is to implement the decisions of the tribunal, there should be another body. Either the tribunal themselves can suggest the body for establishing a mechanism, or state's government can request the central government, look, the tribunal has given and gone, his job is over. You please see how this water will be delivered, and to see that upstream people do not utilize more than their share. Whatever the mechanism. Then they have the control boards, river control boards. So we have acts under Article 262. One is the Interstate Water Dispute Act 1956. These always we see in the papers. The River Control Boards Acts. Earlier days what used to happen, very interesting. There is Periyar Vaigai. Periyar is river that flows into the Kerala. Vaigai is a very dry river. It goes through Tamil Nadu, particularly Madurai town. Madurai people wanted more water. These were the British presidents. That was the Travancore Maharaja. So British presidency authorities went to Maharaja. In between the Western Ghats are there. Hills are separating Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu water goes to Bay of Bengal. Kerala water goes to Arabians. That's how they say